For me to hit it or for us to record?
Well, we're good.
So what's
All
up?
of
Are you
it.
starting?
All of the buttons were pushed. You guys, welcome to Mature Adult Time. I'm Art Hernandez.
Melcy.
Eric Kaz.
Serafina Costanza,
And Nick Waversky.
Nick's here.
sound guy.
Sound
Get
dude.
our sound guy back.
What's up, Nick? How we
Finally,
sound?
we sound good, I hope, right?
Yes, sir. You guys sound great.
Awesome.
How's everybody doing?
Fucking
Good.
amazing.
Just got back from San Francisco.
I saw that. I saw these pictures with you and a baby, and I was like, I know it doesn't take that long to have a baby, like, or it's not that fast. It's like, where did this baby come from? I knew his family.
It's one of my good friends had a baby.
Oh, I thought it was one of your brothers. I'm so confused.
No.
Now I'm lost.
I met her brothers. They're both really cool, by the way. But definitely they're too smart to be having babies right now.
So you're from out there?
From Northern California, yeah.
Northern California. Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
guys were both
it's
up in
fun.
San Fran.
Yeah, dude, there was like
Yeah, what were you
crazy
guys up to?
fires. We were I was watching people walk around with smoke masks on their face. Telling the truth, it was perfectly fine air for me. Like, I didn't notice anything.
California, smog city.
Well, they said that the quality in San Francisco was the same quality as in China. It was really bad.
Damn, China's fucked up. Getting
Yeah.
compared to.
I didn't even wear a mask when I was
You know,
in
your
China.
air
It's like,
sucks when people are like, the worst air is like, you're like this.
You're worse than China.
You're worse than China,
Well,
man.
we did see a lady, Art pointed out, that she had a mask on her face, but walking around with her kid strapped to her with no mask on her kid.
Yeah, she had like a kid around. Like, you gotta, like, yeah.
messed
gotta
up.
take care of number one, dude.
That's messed
She
It
like
was
followed
messed
the
up.
airplane rules, but then forgot the second part. Like then also put a mask on your child.
It was messed up, but then a friend of mine pointed out that it could be that she was sick and trying to prevent the baby from being sick, so she's covering her mouth constantly. Which is fine, but I like to think that she was more just a selfish asshole. Like, she did have a lot of Starbucks cups. One was definitely baby size.
Starbucks has dog drinks.
No way.
Yeah, did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
Dog drinks?
Yeah, I can't remember. Dang, there's a term for it. If you ask for it, it's like a cup full of whipped cream. It's like for dogs. Like dog owners go and ask for.
It's probably a
It's like
liquid.
a pup, something like that.
Hold on, I'm gonna Google this shit. I gotta find out what it is. Hold
Yeah.
on.
I mean, I've got a dog. I don't want to give my dog whipped cream.
I know that sounds
What
terrible
do you
for the dog.
say when you order a drink from Starbucks for a dog?
That was the longest way you
I
could have
know,
asked
like,
that
you
question.
Hey,
Could've got
Google
there
knows me, dog.
faster.
All right, I found a thing now. Oh, they're puppuccinos.
Oh my god.
With Starbucks puppuccino.
It's all ending.
How did we not get that?
How much do they
California
cost?
is
That's
on
what I wanna
fire
know.
and
I
dogs
will
cannot
never
order
find
drinks
out.
at Starbucks.
I refuse to look further into
official.
puppuccino.
So I just don't know what's the necessity to take your dog everywhere. Like I get it, you love your dog,
'Cause you
we
love your
get
dog.
it, but.
Okay. I get how it's a treat
I
for
mean,
your dog.
I don't want to freaking take her anywhere. She ruins half of the good stuff that I like. Like my kid, I love my kid to death, but
Yeah.
they're like Ruts. I don't take her to Ruts.
Kids aren't for
I don't
adult
take her to
stuff.
all restaurants because there's some restaurants that I just are special for me. I don't want to have to go back and forth with the toddler
Yeah.
and bargain and like you know what I mean. Sit there
Trust me,
and
no
kinda-
adults ever thought Chuck E. Cheese is special for me. You know, you take it because it's for the kids. Like, it's
I love Chuck E.
dining
Cheese.
I
is
want to go to
Probably
Chuck E.
has.
Cheese right now. What are you talking about?
Actually, I have an
I
interesting.
haven't been in a long time
I had
since
an
I was a kid.
Well,
experience.
listen, I
I
think
had quite
Mel's
an
been.
experience at Chuck E.
Yeah, 'cause
Cheese the
you,
other
you,
day.
you still go all the time, don't you?
Yeah, I go to Chuck E. Cheese about 3 times a week.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Well, it's around the corner, and the way I time it, I want to do fun stuff with Mila before I have to go to work. So Chuck E. Cheese is right here usually. Get her stuffed on pizza, and by the time we drive from Chuck E. Cheese here, she's asleep, and I go on my merry way to work. Works out great. In the daytime, it's usually empty. There's one little kid that's always pestering around, but nothing too crazy. But I went the other night while I was baking banana bread, and I had a very horrible experience because these girls were just letting their daughters play a game without paying for it. They were tall enough to grab the balls. They were giving them to the little baby kids. And I
love
kept on
baby
walking
kids.
over and I was like out
Dude.
loud, like telling my like, there's a line. And then finally they disperse and we walk up, I pay, and these little ratchets come running back up with their asses, taking the balls while on Mila's game. And they're not like playing with Mila because they're not interacting with her at all. They're not looking at her, nothing. And Mila's just looking at them like, damn, you know, it's a lot of them. She's just playing, going on, and the moms are there. So clearly, if the moms are there and they're not saying anything, they don't think that what their children are doing is a problem, or their broke ass ain't got no more money. So they're just letting their kids just feed off of my, you know, my dollar, because it's 15 cents a game. Like for real, come on. And
It's not even a quarter?
yeah, so I grabbed
Dude.
Mila, and so I'm like, you know, all I thought in my head was, y'all are the reason why my daughter's gonna beat your kids up in high school. Like, their bitches are gonna get slapped because you didn't teach them any better. Like, they should have told them. Like, she's playing, she was in line, back up, nothing. So we go to the opposite side of the Chuck E. Cheese, and we take a picture, and Milo runs to a game, and there's these 3 fat kids, and they're like 6, 7, 8, with their fucking fat ass dad, and this little boy runs into Milo and knocks her over, drops her ass. She gets up, she goes, "It's okay, I'm okay." And the little boy looks at Milo and just keeps it pushing. Doesn't say anything to her, doesn't apologize. His dad sees the whole thing happen and doesn't do anything, just keeps on walking. So I looked up at the audacity. I looked up and I was like, "So you ain't gonna tell his fat ass nothing?" I couldn't. I just threw up.
I just
couldn't. I couldn't even before you speak. No, I was thinking as I was speaking, and I meant every word. Fucking fat ass kid. Like, and the dad, just another big fat dummy, looks at me like super surprised that I just called this kid fat. And I'm like, "You're not gonna teach him to say sorry to the little girl. Be cautious of younger children." Quiet. And then I saw this little lady walking up from behind, and I looked at her, and I could tell she was gonna have something to say, and I just turned around and said, "Milo, come on, let's go," because I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better because I would have had to slap somebody in Chuck E. Cheese, and I don't want to do that in front of my child, and I shouldn't even want to do that in general. I should want to be a good person, but people that don't educate their children, it's like that. This is our future.
No, I agree. I totally agree. Like, I'm the same with my son, except I do it a little different. I'm always trying to set him up with secret little fights. Like, I start telling other kids, like, "That kid over there has been talking shit," just to see if my son can hold his own, I like to set it up, maybe sell a couple of tickets, get some parents involved.
You're fight clubbing your kid, bro?
A little bit, yeah. I'm more like, what is it, Don Kinging my kid.
Tell about the bum and the kid we saw in San Francisco.
Oh my God! All right, so we're at what is the Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco, right? We're getting some food outside, right? And
first of all, this family tried to cut me in line, so I was really upset about it.
Yeah,
just cut him back. You just cut him.
No, it was like this huge family. They tried to cut me, and then they gave this a European guy. They're like, "Oh, you go ahead," and I'm like, "Go ahead of what? Me? Like, I've been standing here this whole fucking time, trying to get a bread bowl." And then the European guy stole beer.
I mean, today I went to go pick up booze, and I'm sitting there waiting for the booze. There's nobody, helping me. They're all doing whatever they're doing in the back, so I'm standing there. And they have their front doors locked. So these 2 guys, they pull up and they're buzzing the buzzer. Clearly there's nobody, like, I'm standing there sitting pretty. And so I'm in front of the door, so I have 2 options. I could just stare at them buzz and be annoying and rude, or I could just open the door for them. So I open the door for them, and I'm standing behind because I feel like I don't want to be up close to the window if they're not there, because to me that seems kind of pushy. Like, I'm chilling. Like, when you're ready, I'll walk up. This fucking guy's just gonna stand right in front of me, like, walk up to the counter, like, I just opened the door for you. Think I'm standing here for shits and giggles? And I was like, I'm in line. But they just looked at me really quiet, and they got behind me, and the guy just kind of looked at me, because I grew up here, but people are just so stupid.
Dude, I'll be saying shit in line all the time. I have a good story about this, but I really want to get back to this really fast. At San Francisco, like, so I'm waiting in line. We're at a separate store than Serafina. She's like one over, and there's this lady, like a family there, right? I don't know what kind of brown they are, but they're definitely my kind of people. But like, I don't know what kind yet. But there's one little girl, and she's in the stroller, and she has like a balloon, like balloon animals, but it's a flower. She has a balloon flower. Someone made it for her. Little pink top, green stem, big long thing, right?
Oh, and multiple balloons.
There's this like tiny little. Like, I'm a short guy, but this guy is tiny. And he's got, like, giant pants on. He's super wasted, and he cannot stand up in line. And he's, like, fucked up. Like, he's hunched over.
And he's with the baby.
No.
Oh.
He's a homeless dude, right? He's homeless.
He looks homeless, or he's a belligerent drunk. I don't know what he's doing, but he's definitely shit-faced. And this is, like, I don't know, like 2 p.m. or something. Like, this guy is not able to stand up, right? And he's sitting there, and, like, how I notice him is he goes, "Shut up!" He like yelled, "Shut up!" And I look over, and he's yelling at this little girl in the stroller, a little baby in the stroller, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I look over, and her family is just not even acknowledging.
It's like, we're just gonna pretend this didn't happen with someone
yelling
at our child.
Like, this is our weird uncle, right? Like, I don't even know.
Dude,
so I told Katie, I was like,
they were too much paying attention to food. They were not paying attention to their fucking 8 kids running around.
What kind of food was it?
All kinds of good seafoods and shit. All kinds of great food. But anyway, so like.
Ooh, bread bowl.
So this fool's having on. So I tell Kate, I was like, all right, watch out for this guy. He looks all wasted, dude. I think he's gonna fall, like, cause he's like totally leaning over, right? And so like he's like, oh, and like I started watching him too after he yelled at the little girl, and then he's sitting there and he's like mumbling a little bit, and he kind of like starts to lean further back away from the little girl, and the little girl, I swear to God, she holds her shit up like it's a fucking sledgehammer above her head, and she goes, "You shut up." Dude, she has to be younger than 4 years old.
Okay,
it's like a little kid.
I thought it was a baby.
Like
No, it's like like 3 or 4 years old, like so small, but she could talk, and she knew that the guy said shut. I could see, like, I'm watching it because I'm like, her family's not noticing it, but she's like scared, and she's in this stroller, right? And she raises up like she's about to beat this fool, like come close, and she goes, "You shut up!" And he notices it. He gets a little like, ugh, and he's like kind of mumbling and drooling, and he like says some shit, and the girl just keeps holding it, and we're just watching, and he slowly leans back, and then he falls back onto the fucking like. The whole like little kiosk stand we're at, and then hits these black guys that are in front of us in line, and the guy's like, motherfucker, and he like leans him over. He kicks him to lean him over, and the guys just kind of leaned there for a little bit, and then we're in line, and they're all still in line too. Like they have not finished their order while that happened.
Did they acknowledge any of this happening?
Only that when it touched him, and then that's it. The second it stopped,
I'm talking about the parents. The parents.
No,
the parents.
It all went back to normal. The only person that even I'm watching this all. Katie's watching all. The only person that's even acknowledging it is that other guy that he touched that for that little bit, and then he just like went back. Later on, this guy totally he's like standing up again a little bit, and he just totally eats shit again. He falls on a couple more people.
I'm just curious, why didn't the restaurant kick him out?
Because
it's street food, so it's like facing.
It's like Venice
the
Boardwalk.
Street.
Imagine if you're on Venice Boardwalk, but they were just a bunch of selling food instead of jewelry or whatever.
So it's like outside,
bongs and
like
tattoos.
stationary, but like to go places where you
Still
just kind of walk
loitering.
up. It's like kind of like when you're at a carnival and you're going up and it's just like
yes, it's just like a carnival.
So it's like that.
So where is this in San Francisco?
It's
Fisherman's
by
Wharf.
Never been
it's
there.
Fisherman's
Pier.
So it's Fisherman's Wharf? Okay.
Yeah, like right
It's
there,
right
right?
next
It's
to
like the
Pier
famous,
39.
the big fucking crab sign. Like it's the
So
tourist
you're looking
spot.
at Alcatraz across the fucking
Yes,
water
all
there.
that, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just right there, and this fool is just cartoonishly wasted there, and I felt bad for him. But mostly, I was like nervous for this girl, and their family did nothing, but she stood up for herself. And I was like, maybe they don't need to.
Good for her.
She
Good
was like,
for fucking
dude,
her,
I
bro.
swear, the second there was like enough space for her to get that shit above her head,
Dude.
she raised it above her head and said, "You shut up," and all quiet. Like she doesn't have a voice like I do. This is a little tiny child, but she goes,
Like, "You shut up."
Yeah, he's like, "You shut up," because
Here in San
he
Francisco,
goes,
those
"Shut
people
up."
are
I
not
was like, what the-
fucking around.
Do you guys know I one time I was an idiot and I was with the girl.
Just
where
one time, Art.
Just once. The one and only time. No, I was with this girl and I had this sweet Camaro.
We're recording that.
That's fine. I had this sweet Camaro and like, she was like, "Can you burn out?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I can." And we're in a fucking parking lot of a grocery store we're about to go in. And I burned the tires for probably like a good 20 seconds. Like the whole car disappeared. We're just like we're the interior bubble of a smoke out from the tires. It was cool. But then we go into the store and we grab some beer and then we're in line and then the guy is like, "We're not gonna sell this to you." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Smell the store. You just did that." And I was like, "Oh yeah."
You
Like
ass.
I know. I didn't even think about it.
Did he pow you for that?
That was my first pow pow.
Dude, but what I was gonna say earlier, sorry.
No.
But the bums in San Francisco are no joke. Like, I'm from Northern California, and Andy, my husband's been going up there for work recently, so I've been going with him, and I was reminded of just, like, the gnarliness of the San Francisco bum. And they go from, like, babies, like, from, like, children, like, 13-year-old to, like, 105. And everything in between.
But isn't it really depressing that it's one of the cities that has the most wealth, has created the most wealth, that has caused all of the main technological advancements of the past 20 years?
Yeah.
And they have that much money and just decide that they're not going to do anything about their homeless population?
Yeah, but also you asked that question, but what about LA? Skid Row is what, down the street from
Yeah, but
fucking
But this is what I'm
lavish
telling you. The San Francisco
Everywhere.
Tenderloin.
Skid Row is like a community.
The Tenderloin is it's like, yeah, that's like a community where there's a lot of people who are there because of drugs, mental illness, which is the same in San Francisco. But San Francisco is so much more drugs. Like it's just like
crack.
gnarly,
Was that yours? Oh, yeah.
gnarliness of just people in fucking filth, and the filth for like compare is like San Francisco.
Dude, well, that's what scares me the most. Like, I would hate to have to fucking fight a bum. Like, for really, I do not want to fucking hit you.
If you ever have to fight a bum, hit him open-handed.
I think I'm gonna
because you're less likely to get cut.
Dude, when I
start whomping them like Boss Rutan style, just come in there and whomp them like that.
I agree with that.
Yeah, dude, because trust me, if you hit them like this...
A tooth can puncture...
But it'll easily do it to your knuckles. Trust me, if you ever hit a motherfucker in the mouth, you ain't cut your knuckles. Not that I would ever do that ever before, ever. And I'm not admitting to it at all.
In San Francisco, speaking to what Eric was saying, I never thought about that because I grew up there. We would go to San Francisco all the time. And when we were at the wharf, I read a quote, and it was something like, I've never seen... like more well-dressed and well-fed people, and then I forget the last part, but it was from Oscar Wilde. Like, but in San Francisco, it's just I
always feel that about Santa Monica. You see the most poor people and the richest people, just like all this intermingling, and you see the richest homeless people. I used to work at an Army Navy surplus store, and homeless people would come in with wads of cash, and I was a young kid. I was like 17, 18. I'm like, why do I have a job when these guys just ask for money and they just have like wads of cash?
It's also like an East Coast versus West Coast thing. I feel like because like when I first moved here, the homeless people back east, they were much more like, "Hey man, can I borrow $1?" And you'd be like, "No, not now." And I'd be like, "All right, thank you." And when I moved out here, like people would be like, "Hey, can I get $1?" And I'd be like, "Sorry man, I only have a card on me." And they'd be like, "Well, fuck you then." Like it's like way more.
Yeah, that's happening.
Angry.
I've tried to give them food and they get mad at me.
But on the flip side, I've given someone food and water, and then he was so grateful. Someone else was walking up and giving him money, and he was like, "No, I don't need money. I can eat right now." But then I was like, "Dude, but you also need to eat again. Maybe think ahead." Is that why you're here?
Sometimes the showmanship gets ahead of it because like sometimes they're clever too. Because I've had friends that have ran away and did that, and like her and her boyfriend would she would pretend to be pregnant and like sit there, and then the boyfriend would panhandle, or like she would panhandle, the boyfriend would hold a sign. But basically every night they'd meet up with a group of friends. They'd meet up at San Diego. They'd get all their money together. They'd go to fucking Tijuana, go there and buy tobacco, rolling tobacco, and as much liquor as they can get, and then just bring it back. And then the next day they'd party. And then
do it all over again.
Yeah, do it all over again. And they'd sleep on fishing boats at night. You just sneak in there and sleep on the boats and just get out before any fishermen come.
Ever since MacGyver, I've always wanted to sleep on a boat.
I've done it so many times.
That's what I wanted to live. Like,
you know what? I can make that happen for you.
You can make
sleep on a boat just for a night.
For a night, all right.
Just sleep on a boat for a night. Yeah,
I'm cool.
It's fucking weird as fuck. For the most part, it's cool. I made myself
on a random little boat.
That's good.
In the Keys in Florida.
Damn.
I just remember that. I don't
know.
I always want to sleep in a boat.
That sounds like how all the Anchor Baby stories start.
I wanted to say the same, and then I was like, wait a minute, I've been on a boat. Yeah, it's like,
she goes, a boat.
A boat. I've been on a boat.
Fucking the Keys.
I have done it. Yeah.
Well, it was like super cool. My ex and I went to the Keys, and we couldn't get a hotel. And he had a family friend. He called them. They came and picked us up from like a parking lot in a little golf cart. You know, the Keys, driving the Keys is like one highway down.
There's something baller about a community where people just drive around in golf carts. Like, you get to a place where like old white people are driving around in golf carts, you know these people have murdered nations, and just for this comfort. And you ride around and you feel a little guilty, but you're like, yeah, golf carts are the way we should travel through streets.
Me too.
Like, we should have highway cars.
I'm gonna be that old bitch.
I've zoned in and out of that, what you were saying, but I heard golf carts and the way to travel. I think so.
I think just in neighborhoods and shit. Once you're in a neighborhood, like you're around there, you do it. Like, we should have like highways for cars and then lots. And then once you get out, we're just in little electric Mario Kart type go-karts.
So you just and you just want us to be in like a bunch of little gated communities?
No.
Like that's it? Over and over and over?
That's
have to be gated.
See, he
they
goes
can be connected by roads.
And he's like, this is a good idea. And then he doesn't. But like in Davis, there's El Macero. And El Macero was like the gated off kind of like, it's a golf course that has houses around it. Yeah, it was like the rich part of town where they had their own like post office, so it was kind of like almost a city within a city around Davis.
Sounds like a very
And,
privileged
like,
city.
Don't most cities have their own post office?
No,
Yeah, but
Davis
this-
had a
she's
post
saying an
office
area
in
within the
Amacero.
city, yeah.
It would be like Park La Brea. Like,
He doesn't know what that
I don't know what that means.
Yeah,
He's from LA.
Yeah, he's from Wisconsin.
I'm from
I
Minnesota.
don't even know what that is.
Minnesota, sorry.
so Park La Brea is just like a huge apartment complex, essentially, like
Yeah.
in the center of LA.
Yeah.
But pretend that that's
Right by
houses,
LACMA.
and say that that place had its own post office within a city. So it's like,
So basically, the mail just gets delivered to them.
It's kinda how,
and then
like,
they have
Disneyland-
someone else.
it's
That,
like
that
Disneyland-
That's sketchy.
Disneyland's in Anaheim, right? But
I don't
Disneyland
like it.
has their own police and their own fire
It's
department.
like Culver
So
City.
it's
Hello,
kinda the
Culver
same
City,
thing.
Culver
Santa
City's own
Monica,
city, yeah. Santa
but
Monica.
so
Burbank.
So, you know, it's always
All the
always
asshole
separate. But
cops.
that's where, I mean, Halloween's coming up. That's where, as a kid, you go and trick or treat because they have full size candy bars in Amacero.
Full-size candy bar. You know you're balling out of control. You can give out full-size candy bars. I mean, I think that's a good thing.
I used to go to Kirby Puckett's house for those.
I got
When I was
money.
doing trick or
What's it,
treat.
Kirby?
I used to
One
get
time-
money.
One time,
Yeah,
you know,
baseball.
like the basket outside, there's like take one. My brother went up and he was like, it said take one, and there was nothing in there, so he took the basket. He was like, so I was like, took something.
Oh,
and
yeah.
my mom was like, you shouldn't have took it, but this is a nice ass basket, thank you.
Mila's first Halloween, she was walking, she freaking, oh, not her first Halloween, her second Halloween, but she was walking her second Halloween. She was knocking in houses that didn't answer, or she would just, we couldn't understand what she was saying.
That's
she
why
was
you
just
need to
not
buy
happy.
fireworks, dude.
She's like, I
Yeah.
just trekked up these 2 steps because we
Yeah.
trick-or-treated in like her uncle's apartment complex. It was funny. She was
Like
upset.
trick or treating taught me how to panhandle. And now I'm good at it. Like if I ever need money, I know I can just borrow it from strangers with no debt.
What?
It's a skill.
All right, trick or treating. When I like knew what was happening and I wasn't really into candy, I would get my pillowcase and not this stupid little bucket. I'd go out, trick or treat my ass off, and then sell that candy to like my brother and friends because I didn't really like it. And then when I moved to Davis, I was accosted. Like I had a big bag of candy, and I was on the green belt, and someone fucking came in and stole my shit. Took it from me.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
It's horrible. I never was bullied.
You were never bullied?
Hell no. I mean, like, maybe, but I doubt it.
I was made fun of, and then I fucking beat people up. They
Me
made
too.
fun of
Yeah,
my
like,
name.
I wasn't bullied as much, challenged.
I was both.
And then I crushed my nemesis.
No, I got my name is Melania, and so when I was little, it was Me La Pela.
Oh, that's not good.
That's like-
fat girl.
No,
Oh, Bella.
Me La Pela is
Oh.
like a girl
That's just
that
in like
gives
gives
head.
head, yeah.
And so there was that. Then like Millennium. In the millenniums, 2000s, I was what, 9,
That's
10.
cool. That sounds like you're from
no, but people would
space.
always water Melania. It was just
Millenniums
a
are
lot.
from space.
And my mom didn't let me shave my legs, and I was really hairy, and I was rough, and I was always dirty and stuff, and I had a big gap. So
Oh,
people
look
would
at-
make fun
look
of
at
me.
me and tell me how
Boys would
hairy
make fun
you
of me,
were.
but it was like,
Did you
okay.
get braces?
No, I never had braces. They grew. I grew into my teeth.
I still have a big gap.
I don't even give a shit. But
Gaps are cute, though.
people would make fun of me, and it was like, all right, that's cool, but
I told you,
I'm
shut
stronger
up.
than you,
Just kidding, I love
and
it.
I'm bigger than you. So there you go. I
So
got
you were
suspended.
the bully.
No, I wasn't a bully. I was Robin Hood. I'm
The
serious.
bully.
No, I wasn't. It really wasn't. I mean, I was prom queen.
Listen, this is what the rich,
I
those
graduated
rich
prom
people that
queen.
were robbed by Robin
I
Hood,
know
this is what they
everybody.
called him. A bully.
No, I was never a bully.
He was all athletic and robbed me.
I'm just tough.
Bully.
People start shit, I finish it. But I guess I beat a lot of people up. I wouldn't consider myself a bully. I still wouldn't. No.
I don't think you're a bully.
I don't
I
think
definitely don't think you're a bully.
You know, I think you're much as a bully as a defenseman as a hockey team on a hockey team and is a bully.
But you're
Like,
my
no.
friends.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bully. That's
No,
that's
just
that's a defender.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like,
like,
if a woman ever gets out of line, like I can't legally do it, but my friend can. Like I'm gonna get her. Like let
What?
me get
Are you
Melania
talking
over here
about
and whoop
hitting?
your
Sick
ass. I'm like, look it. I can't do it right now, but my friend will totally whoop it, and I'll get you. I'll owe you one, and I'll do the same. It'll be fine.
See, but that's the thing. I wouldn't need you to beat up a man for me. I
No,
just take care of him myself.
I'll just hold him down.
I know,
while
but
you
what
do
he's
it.
saying is he's not gonna slap. He's not gonna
I
slap.
know
Yeah.
exactly, but he can't return the favor.
Because I'll
the
get
same way.
Yeah, I can't.
So it has to be monetary. That's all I'm getting to.
Okay.
I don't know. Hard helped me out. He
Yeah.
did me a favor, and not in a violent way, and it worked. But
Yeah, I know how to do things. I'm good at that shit, man. I'm good at doing things. Right? So you guys, any like interesting things happened this week that are affecting you personally? Because I think we should get a little mature right now.
Mature time?
It's
mature
about that time.
So what, obviously there's this whole Me Too thing that has popped up.
Which I'm confused about. What does that mean?
Online. So
not...
I think, all right. So for people who don't know, and I know you're not on Facebook, so you may not know. So
Hell
like,
no.
So Alyssa Milano, I think, is who first.
First of all, I love her.
Buffy.
No, she's from Charmed.
Charmed something.
Yeah, show respect. And who's the boss?
So she
Angela. Angela was the boss.
So she put out a tweet basically calling women to say, if you've been sexually assaulted after this whole Harvey Weinstein thing, if you've been sexually assaulted, Me Too. Like it's happened to a lot. So it's turned into this Twitter thing or Twitter and Facebook social media thing that I woke up to this morning that was all about seeing. It was really depressing also to see basically every woman in my life be able to say, Me Too, Me Too, Me Too, Me Too. So you guys, like some of you guys have seen that. Me Too, I've been sexually harassed. I've been sexually assaulted. I've been sexually harassed.
Like ever touched unwantedly or like grabbed or put in situations where you felt uncomfortable or unsafe.
Really close women in my life have told me those, like brought me aside and told me those. And it's fucking horrible. But now everyone's like pulling these moments that aren't the same as like what a real category of it. Like sometimes I feel like people are bandwagoning. That's good, but I feel if you leech on some of these stories, it's gonna make the real ones seem less like dramatic.
I have a thought, and I've been thinking about this lately. I was raised to be very cautious about myself. My mom would tell me at a very young age that boys are different than me and they will touch me, and she never wanted me to sit on men's laps and stuff. And now that I'm a mother, I'm the same way because I'm aware of it.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think, not necessarily that there are people that are piggybacking, right, for their own reasons.
That's what, in my Facebook I'm saying that. I'm not saying everyone.
For me as a woman, I am just starting to enjoy myself after having a child. Sexually, I have just started to do whatever I please and not worry about what people think for my own benefit, to feel good, right?
Oh, yeah.
But when I was younger, when I lost my virginity, something that should have been special, something that you see in the movies, right? Go steady, you lose your virginity, this person, you stay forever. I feel like a lot of the times that I had sex when I was younger was just, out of pressure, not because I wanted to, not because I was turned on, not because I was attracted to this person, but because it was the pressure of, well, if I don't do this, he's going to go with somebody else. This is my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a pressure that a lot of girls probably didn't even, like I noticed it. I noticed it now that I'm enjoying myself.
I think guys went through that too, like those weird awkward moments where like, if I don't do this, then it's going to lose
that's
someone.
Where I think that's
I know
where
it gets different in a sexual level.
No, but that's where the like, I don't understand, like, you're speaking from your perspective about something that you don't have a perspective of. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what it is.
Someone very close to me told me about her rape, and I just think some of the stories I've heard don't even compare to this. I'm just
but you're not even letting me finish.
But you just started saying what I was saying, so
no. But you interrupted me, and we heard your opinion about it. Like you feel people are thinking back.
Just a brain thought. It wasn't my opinion. It was just kind of flowed out of me. It wasn't well thought out.
We heard what you said.
Yeah,
and so now it's like how can you judge someone else's experience to know what is like? If it's a rape or like just because someone was,
they're written out there.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry,
like here's part of the issue is how it's just someone is raped, that sucks. Someone walks up to me on the street and grabs my tit, that sucks. Is it worse as a rape? Why are we even comparing it? It shouldn't happen.
This is. But I'm talking about. Wait. This is where it came for me, because this is. Thank you, Serafina, because this is what I saw today in seeing that is, and most people in this room probably don't know this, I was sexually molested when I was a teenager by someone who was older than me that I thought was a friend. and I saw a friend, a girlfriend of mine, basically say, not basically, flat out say that she had seen 2 or 3 men come out with a Me Too post and how it wasn't for them and it wasn't for this and for all of these different reasons. And that was my problem. That's where I got upset today. Is because I don't think just because you have a vagina and were sexually assaulted and I have a penis and was sexually assaulted that we should fucking whip them out and measure out who was hurt most.
No,
and this went on for and I said my piece to her because this is someone that I respect a lot, and I generally see eye to eye with, and I got out of it and then watched from both sides. Some people being like, no, that's fucked up, like assault is assault, and her trying to compare it to people saying all lives matter, which it's not the same thing as all lives matter. These are victims coming out and you're telling them that they don't matter. It's not the same. And she started talking about having separate but equal spaces, because we've all heard that before. Separate but equal does not exactly. Where did that get us? Where did that? We decided that in 1956.
No one wants segregation.
But see that I feel is separate, and I agree. Like sexual assault is sexual assault, and there is no gender assigned to it. And I think what you're saying is a little bit separate from that, because I feel and don't take this the wrong way, but like I feel like you somehow get. Like, you take offense to it because you can't really connect and know it, so you're trying to make it fit into something. And that's just my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you how it's wrong. Besides that, what I'm talking about is when I read stories where someone's like, oh, I was at Jack in the Box and this guy was looking at me too. I'm like, that doesn't count.
But who?
But it does.
Fine.
It does.
It does count, and it counts for that person, and you don't know what else that person has said. Maybe that person is what they're comfortable saying online. But who gives a shit if that one person feels that way? Because what is actually happening is
it's flooding my wall. That's why.
And you know what? Sorry, but it's been flooding my life for my entire life. It sucks for everyone on whatever level that they feel it, and I don't think it's right to be like, oh, it's flooding my wall, stop doing it, because this is what we need to be talking about. Because we need to make our daughters safe, we need to make our sons safe, we need to make people safe in this fucking country.
I think it's really important to consider that everyone wants to be considered, essentially. Like, everyone wants to be acknowledged, everyone has their own experience. Each individual is absolutely right to their thoughts. They're welcome to put them out on the internet, no matter what form, whether it was looked at or they decide to explain exactly how awful the rape that might have happened. And I think it's really important to consider that although everyone has the right to say it, and you have the right to think it, Art and Serafina, and you both are kind of coming at it from different sides, but I think everyone's saying the same thing, is that what you need to consider is this shit's happening, and what we need to do is stop bickering about the little differentiations between whether or not it's considered rape or assault, or is it harassment or whatever. The thing is, things are happening from person A to person B that is not wanted by person B, and we need to start approaching that together rather than trying to fucking split it up between the small.
I absolutely agree with that, but I also want to we should have a line on what is a rational line of discomfort and an irrational line.
I don't think that you cannot.
Because now everyone stay away from me. So if I get offended by everyone, wherever I go, should people run away because I'm coming and you have to protect me?
See, what I don't understand.
I know that's an extreme version, but I'm saying some people have to be tough about a little thing.
Why I don't think that people should be keeping score on what is worse or what had happened.
Absolutely.
That's bottom line. It happened because something happened to me. And I was an adult already, and something happened to me, and as nasty and horrible as it was, I still take responsibility for the fact that this situation wouldn't have happened had I been making smarter life decisions. Point in time, I put myself in a vulnerable position and allowed somebody to get close enough to do something. And so for me, it's a both, because I can't I cannot own. I am a victim of something, but I wasn't just a victim. I threw myself.
Exactly. That's how my mom taught me. It's like
No.
you can't change society. Change yourself to society. Which I know sounds fucked up, and that's mean.
Why can't you do both? Why can't
you can do both?
But I'm
but
not
it starts
but you know
with,
what's
it starts
very
with doing
interesting?
one.
There's 5 people in this room right now, and most of us have had fucking fucked up experience.
So I should
happening.
be shamed for not having.
No,
that's the point.
Is this what you guys are going back and forth about? Because maybe I'm.
No, because I'm not. I'm looking.
I'm not
I
No
feel
one
like
is saying that,
like
but
you're
who
mad
said-
at what I said when I was trying to make light of something that
that's
wasn't
true.
serious. I'm not saying it's not an issue. I'm just saying I feel like if you feel like someone was glaring at you across the room, maybe not make it a public issue when actual things are going down. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I do, and we did touch on this. I think on our first podcast about using protest and using social media as a way to garner attention. And I do think that is an issue. And I
don't like slut walk. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I think that
some things are like too much.
But I also don't think that you can necessarily discount people for having those. But I think
I'm not.
I think
I
no.
appreciate
I know you're
the
not.
movement.
Yeah, I know you're not. I know you're not. But I think
It's like, do we
But
think?
why-
All right,
but
check
why
this
do
out.
you feel
Because
like-
everyone
no,
hates
can I
bandwagoners
just-
if it's a sporting event.
No.
But if it's a social issue, everyone's just welcome. Like you can't realize the people that are just trying to monetize
But
this
what
moment.
I want to get back to is the moment where you said,
Isn't that grosser?
where-
The people that are trying to profit off of this than there are people
Where-
that are actually affected by it.
Can I move
Isn't that
this?
more gross?
But like, why? I don't understand why. When I said what I said, you're like, so you should feel bad. No one is saying that, and I never said that at all. And that's
Okay.
what I'm getting to the point where, because, like I said earlier, is maybe because you don't know that perspective, you can't get from there. So, and you're trying to so much, and you're kind of offended the fact that you can't.
I'm
I wanna
just.
put a pin in that. Go on it,
I
yeah.
was gonna just tune in on. I think that you and Art are both seeing it on different views, and both of you guys are responding incorrectly, because when Art started off with his statement, all he was saying was that there are people that are using this very serious situation and something that people are coming out as a way to just jump on and start saying this and that. This is his point. He wasn't talking about levels of
Actual
what is right.
victims
Actual.
of this.
He wasn't talking about actual victims. He was.
And I wasn't minimalizing
he was
any of that.
Giving his opinion on that he thinks there are a lot of people that are using this as a crutch, just like
Or to get more
a certain
blog hits.
somebody used a different problem that's happening right now with our country as a problem with my bar, my business, saying using racism as a crutch. So I think it's relatively. That I think that's what he was saying, and then you responded with, "Well, no, it's happened. You can't tell me mine was not as serious or less serious than somebody else's." So I think you guys are both. We're going back. We're
I
going
agree.
back and
Like
forth.
there's
but
no.
as children, though, like I'm the only parent here, and I have a. Oh, you
That's
are.
not true.
You
That's
are.
not true.
I am not.
Fake
But
news.
I am. I have my child. I don't know how he feels about this, but I have my child full time, and there are a lot of people in this world that I trust, that I enjoy, with all my heart. But I don't trust any. I would be a liar if I didn't tell you that every day in the back of my mind, I am nervous about my child. I'm worried about her, with kids, with everybody, because it's not only, I really truly feel like we're curious and we do things when we're little and we don't know.
Yeah,
But
no.
we're.
I have nieces. I'm like, what are you doing there? No, I was like watching them. They're around me. I'm
and
like,
I know
what do
when
you,
I did
what
as
is
a
that
child,
person
it's like,
like? What is
it's
it?
a very scary thing. She plays with kids and everything is constantly freaking me out. But I don't want to do to her what my mom did to me, because every man is suspect. And now that
Same
I'm
thing. That's how my mom
it's-
brought me up, because she's always the
I'm
same way.
sus.
We watch out.
I'm
everyone.
sus, and even my friends, like I see things and it just I can't get a grip.
I think you and I think a lot alike. So we're raised to just suspect everyone of foul play, and I cannot trust you, and it takes a long time to trust you. And that's where I kind of come off. Like, I don't feel like everyone that's getting behind this movement is, like, legit. And that's what's pissing me off. They're not, like, yes, if you're a victim, then you're a victim, and there's no degree of separation. You're a victim. But I feel like a lot of people that are talking about it probably aren't, and are just kind of jumping in on it. And if that's the case, that bothers me. But I do understand it's a thing, and I feel bad for it, like, and it should stop, and there's awareness should be there. But I just find it so gross that people would try and be, like, monetize this or.
Well, I do too,
use it
and
in-
I do too. I find
I
it gross
agree.
that my friend tried to say that because because it happened to dudes, it wasn't important. and because it should be different.
Cool.
No, because boys don't know either. Boys don't know. I was a witness to my little cousin when he was, 3 years old. I was a little bit older than him, and every time he would we would kiss, and then one day, he kissed me, and his little dick got hard, and I saw him look at his dick and was really surprised and he wanted to kiss me again, and I was like, oh, little perv, and I didn't kiss him again, but he didn't know. He didn't know any better. All he knew was that it got a reaction, and now he wanted to know furthermore.
That brings me to something which is just education, and we have to start educating our children on like a different kind of level.
I agree, but that starts with parenting. Like
it does.
The fact that we all think that the government, which we all complain about constantly, is so capable of just training our children to become outstanding adults while we all pursue careers. Like, that's insane. It's so insane. I once heard a quote where, man, I guess this is going to sound really fucked up, but it's kind of fucked up. Like, the government has been trying to raise our children. They're trying to put them in school, make parents work longer hours, put them in after school programs, and I'm a part of that. I'm a product of like being raised by like after school programs and daycares and things like that. Yeah. Just like, which I think is cool because it made me learn a lot of things. But I don't know my family very well, and I'm sidetracking very hard here. But
I do think you're onto something. I do think that it is somewhat correlatable, because I kind of grew up in the same way, and I think that I think a lot of it comes down to in some ways that people are continually trying to feel special, and we've very recently in the last.
Do you think it's our generation?
In the last 200 years, like very recently, have we gotten to the point where we aren't living in smaller communities with specialized, like, you're the baker, you're the butcher, you do this, you're the teacher, you do this, like, and where we've gotten to this point where now we all have this ability to do anything that we want for the most part, and I think that we're struggling with how to process the idea that we're. No one in this room is more special than each other.
Well,
before we may have thought that.
So before you were kind of born into it. Yeah, your dad's a baker. You do bakery. Your dad's an iron worker. You're the blacksmith.
Why don't we redirect ourselves and try to find out where it starts and how? Instead of measuring.
Well, we just have to reprogram each other.
Well,
and it begins with noticing like how really rampant it is.
Well, check this out.
It is to a lot of people. Like, it affects everyone, like whether you're doing it or not. And I saw a post saying like it was like something like I have, and he was saying like I have seen it happen and not said anything, and I've done this, it's just like I think right now what everyone is, because if it's so rampant, that means you have seen it, you have been a part of it in some way. This has touched everyone.
I think that's fucked up if you've seen that shit. You didn't say it. That's as bad.
But I'm
sorry. That's entirely unfair. I remember, like, if you're young and you don't know what to do, we've all been in positions.
Okay, yes.
Maybe
at
not.
A certain age,
Sure. Maybe not sexually, but in other situations, we've seen. I know, but I'm saying we've seen instances where we knew better, but we didn't do it because we were afraid. No. Everyone's allowed to be afraid. No. I'm sorry. You might have. Good for you. A lot of people are terrified of others. And a lot of people are extroverts, a lot of people are introverts. Some people are terrified of literally going outside and going to the library to check out a book. So whether or not you cannot, exactly, but you cannot judge it for inaccurately representing the way you should respond.
That's a level of crazy. If we all can't agree that that's a crazy.
But the thing is it's taught, like racism is taught. You guys don't think that's crazy? Racism is taught. Treating other people a certain way is taught. So if you don't think it's different and you
have to understand that's not normal. Okay, maybe crazy is not the right word. It's not normal. It's not the average thing. Like, you have to understand, like, that's a harder to work with human beings than most people.
Somebody who was very close to me was molested by her babysitter. Somebody where she used to be babysat. And we are the same age, and I remember it was nothing but, we were 21. We were living together at 21, 20 years old. This was a close friend of mine who was still a virgin. She was still a virgin. She would never get dressed in front of. We were roommates, and she would not take a shirt off in front of me. I get naked in front of my friends. She wouldn't. And I know
I get naked in front of my friends.
Yes, but a lot of people are just not comfortable. There's things that have happened to them that have you can't say that if
because
you don't,
sex
if you can't
shame.
relate, if you cannot relate.
But only in a certain way. Like our
Christian
society
too.
is like it has to be sexy, and if it's not sexy,
I
and
was
it's not a
Christian
certain
too.
way, it's not worth anything. You know what I mean? So it's
Fuck
like
your
it's
phone.
a very narrow. It's a very narrow, like minded, narrow like scope of what is sexy and what should be perceived as sexy, and if it doesn't fit, then you're shamed for it.
See,
No, you're
there's
right.
a new thing.
And,
There's body
it's
positive.
changing.
There's
it's
girls.
body positive, and we gotta have like sex forward talking.
What's sex forward? Like, is that no more backwards cowgirl? Because I like that sometimes, especially if you got those good dimples.
Depends what way your dick is. How your dick.
My dick's hard but malleable.
I don't know. I came across a crooked dick recently, like
You said a broken dick or a
crooked, like weird,
Like what?
weird. Like I've
Like an
never
out-of-place
seen something like it
elbow?
looked like a hook. It was very,
Like
very,
a hook?
It was very weird.
Like, oh!
And I had to Google
You just-
positions because I was very.
You just changed my
Throw
porn
off.
search. It's gonna be weird now. Hook dicks.
Well, you should look it up because it's actually a disease.
No,
it's called something.
No, because you triggered me. You triggered me on this because this is a fucking flashback memory of mine. When I watched Naked Gun 33 and a Third, you guys could all see this
Is
too.
this porn?
Yeah, no, it's not.
No,
it's
no.
a movie, and it starred. Was it Anna Nicole with the? Was that the pill popper? Right? And there's a point where she gets naked and she's in front of a screen, and her dick pops out. She has a dick, and it's like a candy cane, and I always thought of a fucking crooked dick. Sorry. And it haunted my face, and then you just brought it up right now again. I'm just like, ever since I saw that, I was like, can dicks do that? Because it was like a candy cane, and it just fucked my world up. And then the whole...
So I would like to say again, education. We need to educate
Yeah,
our children.
I
so
I was raised by
they
Leslie
know.
Nielsen, and it's not good.
Yeah.
I think personally, I think the major argument, I think right now, everyone in general, not just this conversation, but a lot of conversations that are going on online, are almost always about the individual versus the group overall. And in general, once the individual starts to speak up, the group changes their mind, and whether they fight it or allow to back that individual is essentially what you're talking about. So whether it be sexual harassment or I don't know, the millions of things we've seen lately on Twitter, the hashtag things, I'm with Darfur forever ago, that kind of thing is essentially, the problem is everyone again is trying to be both. They want attention, and then they also want to be a part of the group. And like you were
fuck
saying,
that dog. I'm just trying to be funny, all right?
But what he's saying, it's very easy. It's very easy to just type something up real quick.
It
on
is, and
social
like we would
media.
like to do, like, look, this is. Sorry, Serafina.
Actually, that was done. That was
Oh.
the one time that you were not in.
God damn it! God damn it!
This is what happens when you
I
try
thought
to
I
trade.
grew
You shoot
and
yourself
I
in the
was
fucking foot.
stagnant. No, seriously, like it is a thing we should all be aware of. But like, there's other crazy shit going on too, you know.
Well, there is.
What
a
about
lot
these
of
fires up north?
Like
We already kind of talked about
Yeah,
that.
300 people just got blown up in Somalia over the weekend. No one's talking about that.
All right,
How about all of our information from Equifax or Equifax is all out there? Like,
Fuck. What does that mean? People are gonna know I'm poor.
they know your.
Oh shit! This is
No,
like the
they
time
know
I
your
goes-
date of
they-
birth. They know your social security number. Shit, you can't change. Like, they're gonna start booking
I could
flights.
change it. What if I just start celebrating my birthday a day
We all
later?
need to go on a protective witness program.
We should
What's it
all
called?
get rich enough to buy a piece of land where we can have our own little area.
Yeah, switch it around. Witness protected. See, it's the wine. Almost there.
Look, this has been an emotionally charged podcast, and I think
mean, I
some
think it's
people
been
are going to be
productive.
really too weak to even hear what I'm saying right now. That might have offended them, but if they didn't, that's good. Because you know what? This is like that episode of Different Strokes when Arnold was getting molested by that guy. He kept making him take pictures with the shirt off. You guys never see that? It's very terrible.
Well, at the end of the day, I think
He
it's
owned a
important.
bike store.
At the end of the day, I think it's important to be offended. I think it's
Good.
important to be offended by the people that you talk to
Thank
and the people you spend your life with. And I think that just because you exchange ideas and you may not agree, or you may agree but not talk about them in the same way, doesn't mean that you're bad or I'm bad or my friend online today was bad. It just means that we're coming from things in a different place, and we've gotten to a place where attacking is the way to do it.
Well,
because that's the animalistic
I love the
instinct
idea of
in us.
sharing the idea.
I also feel as though it's very important to understand that just because you're offended doesn't mean you have a right to anything. You're allowed to be offended. That's your own right. You can be offended and you can be wrong. Well, however, you can be offended and be right. But just because you're offended does not automatically make you correct. And I think a lot of people right now are confusing the fact between being offended and being just. And I think it's not the same thing. You may be offended by a thing, and you should just sit back and not watch that thing. You can be offended by a Saw movie. Doesn't mean those movies shouldn't be made. You know what I mean? Like, I think there's a very...
I'm just going to start off by saying, boo this man.
All right.
That was gross. Shut up, Nick. I'm just kidding.
Here,
I love you.
With your friend, you coming online, like, if you really think about it and you think down to the core of what you both are talking about, you both are agreeing, and ultimately you both want the same thing to happen, which is for everyone to be safe and for us to have a society and an environment to really thrive and not feel like we are going to be a victim at any moment, which is
of course, and
that's exactly no one wants.
And so that's what like we gotta kind of do is like kind of get to there. Is like, okay, we kind of see different sides. Like she's trying to put like talk about something like really specific, but when it might be a broader thing, and instead of arguing, is being like, how can I really speak to this person and have effective communication and really like kind of come to a place we can agree to disagree, but ultimately we want the same thing, so how can you guys work together and put your forces together to make that happen?
Well, and that's how I ended it. It wasn't a big long back and forth. It was just, that was my opinion. I usually see eye to eye with you. I love you. Call me if you want to talk about it. Like, I'm not going to sit here and argue with someone that I've known for 10 years on Facebook about something. Like, it's just
right. That's
it's just like it doesn't
right,
like it doesn't
really
matter.
Quick,
like,
not to get all professional on this, but if people really do have opinions about what we just talked about, where could they reach us?
They can reach us at matureadulttime.com.
There you go. Hit us all up. We're all available. Yeah, we got all.
Mel C at matureadulttime.com.
Hell yeah.
We all got it. You got one too. It's all there. We're all there. You can hit us all up individually if you feel like we've crossed any lines. Please be nice to Art. He's sensitive.
Or don't. Whatever.
Thank you, Serafina, for saying that. So kind of you.
I mean, to be clear, I love you. We're having combos.
No, exactly, and that's like I hope people get like we're all hugs and smiles at the end of all this, and we're just talking about things you're too pussy to do it. Shit. You can't say it, and like we're all gonna do it for you. Wherever you're hearing this, we're gonna say it for you. It sucks, but it's beautiful.
All right.
I think that was like a really hard hitting. Think about that. Think about that episode, huh?
All right.
What do you think, Mel?
Yes, I do think so. We're good.
All right. Well, that's us. We're gonna check out.
To be continued.
Yeah. Say, come here. Come here.
Tell us about the stickers.
Milo.
Tell us about the stickers.
Milo.
All right. She's gotta wait. You guys, this has been Mature Adult Time. Keep rolling after this. This has been Mature Adult Time. I'm Art Hernandez.
Mel C.
Eric Kaz.
Serafina Costanza.
And Nick Waversky.
Bye.